We have suffered. Yesterday, I think, was the anniversary. We've suffered 1 year of Keir Starmer as Prime Minister. He arrived in Downing Street on a wave of expectation, a promise of change, competence, and moral purpose. And what have we seen since? A cascade of U-turns, 12, I think. Public humiliations, broken promises, the visible collapse of authority, the rise of Farage. So I want to ask, how much longer can he really ask, and who would replace him? So beginning with the fiscal, with the ethical mess, the freebie gate, Starmer and his ministers went to Taylor Swift and failed to declare it properly. Then we learned Lord Alley was buying his suits, his wife's clothes, and letting them stay at his £18 million penthouse. Sir Keir Starmer said it was so that his son could revise for his GCSEs. Shame the exams were over by the time they moved in. This wasn't the integrity we were promised. This was hypocrisy in designer clothes. And what about his personal judgment, the man who needed a voice coach on Christmas Eve during lockdown, the man whose own MPs staged a revolt over welfare cuts so severe they made his Chancellor weep in Parliament? He didn't even seem to notice she was in tears at his side during Prime Minister's questions, detached, uncaring, out of touch with his own team. His entire year has been defined by U-turns and by fumbling. He said no new taxes. Taxes went up. He promised no VAT raid on independent schools that would damage them. Fees soared. Pupil numbers fell. Closures loom. He wanted to cut winter fuel payments for pensioners. Cue fury, a humiliating U-turn, and a Treasury black hole. Welfare reforms, designed to save £5 billion, abandoned in chaos after more than 100 Labour MPs rebelled. He didn't want a specific inquiry into the so-called Pakistani rape gangs, the grooming gangs. Well, I would regard that as rather like Michael Portillo, a far-right obsession. But after political pressure and accusations of weakness, he ordered one. And he has the gall to call other people far-right when he can't even stand by his own policies. Let's talk about his supposed tough stance on migration. Labour promised to smash the criminal gangs and cut small boats crossings. Crossings are up 50% on last year. They promised to end hotel use. That's gone up. Net migration is still well above sustainable levels, despite endless ministerial pledges. He hasn't fixed it. He hasn't even dented it. He hasn't even remotely looked at the international implications of so many countries ignoring the principles of the 1951 Refugee Convention. That's something that needs to be reviewed on the international stage. Here is an opportunity for him to call an international meeting. He hasn't done it, nor did Rishi Sunak. What's stopping them? And what about the economy? GDP per person is fractionally up, 0.5% in a year, but job numbers are falling. Business confidence is down. Employers' national insurance rises have hit jobs in retail and hospitality. His no new tax pledge looks increasingly impossible to keep. Even Labour's own fiscal watchdog says the public finances are heading for a cliff. Meanwhile, disposable income improved briefly, but inflation has ticked back up, and the Bank of England is warning of more pain. He did have some wins abroad, trade deals with the US, India, and the EU. He hugged Zelensky while Trump scowled at him. He managed not to blow up AUKUS. But he also gave away sovereignty in the Chagos Islands at our cost. He agreed to Spanish police on British soil in Gibraltar and was utterly sidelined by Trump over Iran. Foreign policy is the one area where he seems comfortable. The problem is he spends too much time abroad while the country falls apart. And then came the local elections. Nigel Farage's Reform UK humiliated Labour, taking councils and voters by storm. Starmer's own MPs say they don't know what Labour stands for anymore. 126 Labour MPs rebelled on welfare. His party's fractured, disillusioned, leaderless in all but name. He promised to bring Britain together. Instead, he's united the country against him. Which leaves the question, how much longer can he last? Labour MPs are already whispering along the corridors about successes. Andy Burnham waiting in Manchester, Angela Rayner never shy about ambition. She'd probably got a new red dress for it. Even Wes Streeting, who's the person I would identify as the man to replace Starmer, although his NHS plan is struggling. But who wants this poisoned chalice? Change at the top would mean another lost year. Sticking with Starmer means more chaos until he changes. But is he even capable of that? Keir Starmer came into office promising to restore integrity, confidence, and hope. Instead, he's delivered scandal, chaos, indecision, and decline. He says he's a pragmatist who learns from mistakes. The question is, how many more mistakes will Britain tolerate before Labour turfs him out? Because one thing is abundantly clear. We cannot afford another year like this one.